Alright, today I plan on installing a electric actuator that will give me a remote control, I guess, from inside the cab to release the hatch. I've already removed the plastic all the way around. Took the cover off of this already. Just gotta take the 3 bolts here and this one's come off. I've already taken all the bolts off of this as well. There it is. Just got off the plastic clips. And you can leave the wiring all connected if you want. Leave it hanging. Do that all the time. I'll give you access back here. Like I said, I've already started. So next step would be removing these 3 bolts. Alright, with the 3 screws removed, I push the latch in. And then on the back side over here, this view of everything, two wires I think that runs to it. You gotta want to unclip that one there. And I think that should be enough. Oh, and then I've already did this, but you want to unlatch this as well, so you can get the cable out. Have a little bit more wiggle room. And here it comes. It's a little. There we go. Here it comes, a little snug. I think if you bring it all the way back. Biggest thing is it just catches this harness here. There we go. Now that you got it free, the cable dangling or unclipped from its holder. You got 2 wires here. You're gonna want to unplug these. And you see I've unplugged it. It gives you even more access to this box. And now my goal is to have this actuator here hold this release, but I plan on keeping the original latch because I am not 100% ready to have an external switch out here somewhere. So I like to keep my latch that I replaced not too long ago with an OEM unit for as long as I can. Eventually I may do a remote access on the exterior somewhere, but for now I want to at least have it installed and still work with the original handle, and there'll be a switch somewhere in the cab that will allow me to push to pop the hatch as I do use the back of this for sleeping. And I got my flap disc here, and the rod is just a little too fat for where I'm trying to fit it. So use a flap disc and shaved it down, thinned it out a little bit. And what we're trying to do is have this rod fit through here like so. And then I'm just gotta bend it so it wraps around and hooks it. And then that way the actuator can pull on it, just like the latch, just like the handle does on the exterior of the vehicle does. Right, so I unclipped it from here so I can get it out on a bench so I can actually take a look at this and work on it. And with that said, the rod that I shaved down, turned it and comes with already a 90 on here. I needed a 90 on this side as well. Definitely a little tricky to get this to bend. Probably been easier to bend it while it was still round in the vise, and then shaved it down afterwards. But as you can see, goal is to have this kind of just cup over the existing cable that's going to be there, and it's going to run right above the original cable run, which I will be, see here, there's this little rubber plug that normally sits right up in here. I will most likely be, which way does this thing go? goes like this. So I plan on putting a little hole so you can see the cable runs down here, the factory cable. And I want to plan to have my rod run right above it. So I'm probably gonna make a nice little hole for this to insert through the little rubber gasket here, and it'll come over and sit right above here like so. Alright, there it is, hooked in. I added a zip tie and zip tied it to the cable, keep it from popping out, and then I drilled a hole in this grommet here so that the rod can run through. That should help keep it from popping up as well. I just got to figure out the rest of it, and then we'll be done. Jump the gun on the last section, grip, or last step. You want to make sure you run your actuator through the rod before you insert it all. I managed to break that little nub right there. It's supposed to hold the cable from rubbing. So I either gonna have to hit a junkyard to get a new one, or I might be able to 3D print a fix for that. Alright, I got everything, or at least the actuator latch back in, and you can see I had to bend the rod 2 more times down and over because the window track, you can see, actually runs right where the actuator would have been up there. Plus I needed this to come down a little bit more because I plan on bolting it up to this little hole right here. And it happens to line up perfectly with one of the holes there. I might need to drill this out bigger if I don't find a bolt that can fit this. But yep, it's in there now. It's bolted up. So we'll see. Next will be the wiring, or a little test wire, or wire this up to the battery just to test it and see if it works, and then go from there. Alright, I got it bolted up here. I did have to drill a new hole on that rod right there. Then I forgot I had the actuator pulled out all the way. You want it fully extended and before you bolt it up. You can see I had to do 2 different bends on there to get it so it would clear the window. Still gotta double check and make sure it doesn't hit the window, but I want to say I probably never rolled this window down, so it shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, there it is. I got it bolted up. We can test it. Like I said, my goal was to have this still work with the factory latch as a fail-safe, because electronics can fail. So up here, latch, no button there. There's no hidden buttons under there. You can see in there, I probably can't, but I pull on it, you can see it releases it like it should. Now, relatch it back up, and got 12 volts where my fridge plug is, just temporary for now. And for the actuator one, let's see if I can do this one-handed. There it is. You can hear it latch, click. See it pull right there. That's all it takes for it to release. It does jump a little bit, but that's okay. But there it is, released. Now I can run that up to a switch, maybe even a remote. So I can do it from the remote instead, so you can see it from the inside. It's currently latched. Now, hold it, and it's released. Oh, there it is. Now for the true test, you know, do it from inside. Wake up wake up at camp, and you need to get out. So let's see if I can have to use my foot since I gotta hit the switch. Let's see here, which wire is it? Oh, there it is. It works. I'm free. All right, took the latch unit out because, out of the cover, because it did not have, once the actuator pulled it, it had a really slow return time, and if it doesn't return all the way and you lock the door, it can cause it to jam. So this little return spring right here is a little on the weak side, so I'm gonna double it up and add another one. I just happened to find this in my junk drawer, so hopefully this adds a little bit more spring to it, so it will return a lot quicker and easier. Alright, there it is, the extra spring. Definitely a little bit stiffer now, so the handle one might fight me just a little bit, but we'll see how that goes. I just latched it on the outside out here and then hooked it to here to kind of right here. That way create a little bit of space away from the original one. I was trying to fit the skinnier one inside, but it's a little tricky trying to shove it in there. There wasn't a lot of room, so route it on the outside and then back down to the same point at the bottom, and hopefully once I get it back together, the handle won't be too stiff to pull. Alright, there it is, put back together. So you can get a little light on there. There's a 3D printed part. Had to take it all back out again, had to drop it in with the cable already through it, and then I was able to put the cover back together, the 2 screws that held it back in place, and it's just wedged in there, and that should keep the cable in place now. Let's see, 3D printed part. The quick fix right there. Now I can put it back together. Alright, back reinstalled now. Got some wire loom on here. It's gonna follow the factory loom so it doesn't catch the window. And it's all routed under here. That should be good. And it's routed through here, coming out through here. And we'll be following the wire all the way through here. And through this hole, through here. And that will take it into the cab, and then still haven't figured out where I'm gonna put the switch. Maybe right up here. All right, got the wiring, ran through, wire loom all the way following the factory wiring. Ran it through here. Hardest part was fishing the wire from here through here and back down here, and as you can see it comes out there. All I did was took a really long zip tie and kind of fished it in there and worked its way in, kept on working it. Took a good amount of tries, but finally got zip tie all the way through, and that allowed me to tape my wire from here to the zip tie and then pull it through. I did spray some wet silicone spray on it around electrical tape where I taped the wire to the zip tie, and worked its way through, got it through. I did run an extra set of wires. See the black and white here, black and white here, or black and red, just in case I ever decide to run something through it. At least I'll have fishing wire, or even using this and just splicing it anyways. Got my wire finally ran through, and debating on if I want my switch right up there or if I want to fish it down and have it somewhere down here. All right, we are inside. Got my wires ran, plastic covers all put back on. Hatch can't open. Money. Alright, we're currently doing the wiring. Let's see, got 2 wires here, only need 1 Originally I was gonna run 2 and keep one as a run the ground all the way back to my fuse block here, but decided to just keep 2. I mean, the wiring that I buy, they come together as black and white, and I decided to just keep it together. It's gonna run 2, and then this would be a future 12-volt accessory that can come up here if I ever need it. So basically all I did was drill a hole right up in here and ran the wire up along the pillar, back out, and there it is. And it'll be wired up to a relay right here. Simple relay. Order these off of Amazon. You can get like 5 of these things for like 12, 13 bucks with the harness. This I happen to have, so I'll be just using these little plugs, connectors, and they'll just plug right in. And then here's the momentary switch. Little tiny little switch. The reason I went with a little tiny switch was at the location I plan on installing this. Since I taken out the 3rd seat belt here, it left this little hole, and basically this panel is where I want to have the switch. Right behind here there isn't a lot of space because it's all metal, but there is a section that cups right into this little opening where the seatbelt used to be, and I plan on taking the switch and having it installed right about there, and that's gonna angle right into here like so, and that'll give me a nice little switch up here to push while I need to open up the hatch. And then relay, I was debating on where to put the relay. I can have it all down here where my fuse block is. I ran power back here because I knew I was going to need to pull power for accessories I plan on doing back here, and it'll be easier just to draw power from one of these instead of running wires all the way back up to the front. Still not finished yet, so I mean, you can see there's only one accessory right now. It goes actually to this little 12-volt plug here, giving me my battery voltage and everything. It's hot all the time. I also like to do all my accessories, aftermarket accessories I do to any of my vehicles, have its own dedicated power source. I hardly ever tap into the factory wiring for power or ground, or yeah, basically for power. It keeps things separated. That way, if anything ever fails, I can shut down the aftermarket accessory, and the factory vehicle harness and everything will be fine, and makes diagnosing a little bit easier as well. But yeah, and also all my accessories, I run them always hot, so they always work. Unless I kill, there is a master switch I do have up front that kills everything if I ever need to. So yeah, I was debating on where I was going to put the relay. I was going to either drop it down here with all the other crap or keep it up there. I decided I'm just going to drill this out just a little bit and bolt it up inside in here. I'm just going to bolt it up in here, and that'll give me a nice connection point for everything. Reason why I'm going to do that is it's going to give me future access if I ever needed to reverse the actuator to have it push instead of pull. If the latch ever sticks or whatever reason I need it to go the other way, it'll be easy for me to just to pull the wirings off of this, swap the 2 wires, and that'll allow it to basically reverse the actuator. So get to wiring. Alright, got the switch here, and I soldered in a couple of wires on here, and I'm going to shrink wrap it to cover up the wire, exposed wires, and that'll give me a way to wire this into the relay. Alright, I got this thing all wired up, got the relay in place, got the switch, it's a momentary switch installed. You can see I soldered the wires to it and shrink wrapped it. That's there. Got the relay in place. Honestly, I don't know if I really want to explain how I did the wiring. I mean, if you know how to use a relay, the wiring's pretty straightforward. if I explain it, I'm probably gonna confuse you guys. But I mean, I want to say almost every relay I've had tells you how it's done or how it works. I do a lot of wiring, so it was pretty straightforward. But there it is, it's all done. Found my ground there, and like I said, I plan on bolting this up right in here. I didn't realize that this was a welded nut up on the top. I was hoping to take this nut off and bolt it up in here, but luckily, I don't know if you can see, but there is just enough, a little bit of thread on top off of this bolt that's still available. I happen to have a nut that will thread on top, so I will be able to install this on the inside and hide it and then bolt it down with this nut. So I got all wired up, got a 15 amp fuse. Hopefully that should be enough. I didn't look at the specs of what the actuator needs, but here's the switch. You can probably listen and hear it engage. Works just like that, pretty quick. It's a momentary switch, so it releases when you if you hold it, it'll stay like that, stay held open. So to test it, there's the latch. Take a screwdriver. It's latched, so that's as if it was closed. Come over here. I'll push the button. You guys can see the screwdriver. There it goes. It's open. One last look. A little excessive. I left the wires a little long, mainly because if I ever pulled this down, I don't want to have to unplug anything. I'd rather just let it come down and hang if I ever need to service this. But as you can see, the relay's in place. Bolt it down and hidden out of sight. Hopefully I can shove all the excess wire up in here and clean things up a little bit. But it's basically done. Just gotta put the panels back together. All right, everything's all buttoned up. Got the panel reinstalled. You can see the switch is pretty small. Probably can't even see it from out here. And easy to get to. Like I said earlier in the video, I can easily, if I ever wanted to, I can wire another one of these out on the exterior. I did not do that. I wanted to keep the original handle working. I wanted a mechanical link in case electronics ever fail. I don't want to be stuck, with no backup. So I kept the mechanical in play. And if the plastic handle ever does break for whatever reason for the switch being in this location is if I can just roll down the back window, reach in and push the button, and I'll be able to open the hatch. Actuator that I did use, actuator I use is made by DEI. Pretty quality brand in my opinion. There are tons of actuators you can buy fairly cheap, seen all over Amazon. I've used the cheaper ones, not really, they work. I don't know how durable they are compared to this. This brand DEI actually makes alarms, probably a bunch of other stuff. They make, I want to say they own or they make alarms for Viper and a lot of the bigger alarm companies. So this actuator, I want to say I paid like 15, 16 bucks. They keep going up in price because of the whole supply chain issue, I guess. I think they're right now, last I checked, it was around 20 bucks for one of these. Well, you can probably get a set of 4 cheapy Amazon ones for 15 bucks. So, but I wanted this to last because the location that this is in, actuator in here, while it may not see a lot of weather, it may see water, because if you ever roll down your window, you'll have water run in there, and it actually comes down into here. You can see there's actually drains for the water. So little things like that. That's why I didn't want to be dedicated to
one release mechanism for my hatch.
All right, now for the ultimate test. I'm in here, you can see I can't open this. So, got the release button right here, fairly easy to get to. Since I'm holding my phone, I gotta use my foot. I push a little button, voila. We are free. There it is, clean install. And it works super fast.